Welcome to yet another 2 weeks in Taiwan. I'm Elio, and for the past 2 weeks I picked up my towed scooter, went to Taitung by scooter, where we planned to fly from Taitung to the Green Island, and I went to Chiayi on a day trip where I visited an Incense museum, a Taoist temple with a market nearby, as well as the southern branch of the National Museum. I apparently parked my scooter incorrectly. I was gone for about 2 minutes and then it got towed. So now I'm walking to the towed scooter pickup place and I'll see what the financial damage is. I ended up having to pay 850 Taiwanese dollars, which is fair enough for parking the scooter incorrectly. Next day, Taime and I drove by scooter for about 3 hours to Taitung, and from Taitung we planned to fly to the Green Islands. We had already booked the flight. Casper and Tim went as well, but they went by train since they don't have a scooter and they don't have an international driver's license. So then we arrived there, it was raining a bit and we went inside the airport. But then we found out that the flight got cancelled. It got cancelled because of the strong winds, so that would be dangerous. It was already in the afternoon, so we didn't really, or at least I didn't really want to drive back all the way to Kaohsiung. So we booked a hotel for the meantime and stayed there. The next day we had a great drive through the mountains back to Kaohsiung with a beautiful view. Another day I went to buy some things for myself since I was kind of in the need for it. My old running watch broke, so I got a new one. It's this one, the Coro Space 2, which I might be making a video about later. I also bought some new running shoes, as these ones are pretty torn down, as you can see. And I got a blanket to sleep under. I didn't have anything to sleep under until now. And I also bought a new water bottle since the old one was completely expanded on all sides because I put it in the fridge too long. So I got some new stuff and that really helped me just live my daily life here. I got most of it at the shopping mall with a karting circuit, and the circuit was based on the Suzuka racing circuit, and I might actually want to go there to do some karting in the future since karting is really fun. Early in the morning I was on the rooftop, which you might be able to see over there. And I heard somebody play saxophone and I was like, wow, that sounds pretty good. So I walked down basically this road further into the mountains where the sound was coming from. On Saturday we went to Chiayi by the school bus on the cultural day trip. Rui went as well and some other people went as well, like Casper and Tim and the Norwegian guy. On this trip we sat in the bus and there was a very enthusiastic lady talking about all the things we were going to do, asking us questions, but she was a little bit too enthusiastic maybe because she was speaking very loudly. But not only that, she had a microphone with her outside and inside the bus that was just making her voice way louder, like connected to some speakers. And she puts the microphone basically in her mouth, so it was a deafening experience the way she talked. One time I suggested, you're speaking pretty loudly, could you please remove the microphone a bit from your mouth? And then she did that for about 1 minute before falling back to the loud voice with the microphone in her mouth. First we visited the Incense museum, where basically the entire museum smelled of incense sticks, and where you could also see how the incense sticks were being made. We also saw some kind of chair with all kinds of needles where people used to sit on in the past. Then we visited a street market in a long street in front of a big Taoism temple. I bought some bread beans, which were very tasty, with some covered in some salt, but also unhealthy. I didn't know that at the time and I'm definitely not buying them again. And we also bought a pork pie to eat later in the day. Then we received an extensive buffet lunch that was organized by the school for free. At the end of the day we went to the southern branch of the National Palace Museum in Taipei. It's basically kind of a replica of that museum but with other things inside it, and it's said to be the most earthquake-proof building of the southern part of Taiwan. So there were lots of things to see. It was relatively interesting, but at the end I also found it a little bit boring. Yeah, so then we went home. Those were my last 2 weeks in Taiwan. I hope you enjoyed and see you next week.